do something fun. We're going to do something that I love to incorporate in my classes sometimes, which is a little bit of martial arts, a little bit of karate. So I do that for quite a few reasons. First, it's fun, and it's also, it amps up your your workout quite a bit. You get a little cardio kicked in there. It has a lot of similarities, karate for me, and yoga, and the way you are developing your physical skills, your body awareness, your connectedness to being grounded, and your connectedness to center and also energy is something that I just find in both practices. So I do feel like karate is best when it has a lot of those yoga components in it, and you have a lot that you can utilize from a martial arts practice that you can put into your yoga practice. Maybe not, well, certainly the strength, and also that becoming really good at quickly finding your center, quickly finding your balance in whatever position you're in. So I often throw it in there, just like mixed into the class. In the middle of a vinyasa, there might be a portion of this. So you can use this bit that I'll record new. I'm improvising. We'll see what happens. You can use it as a warm-up, as a bit of strength, and also getting better at finding your balance and your center a little bit quicker. Because you know that when we're practicing, we go into a warrior one pose, and we go through the components of finding the groundedness in the foot, the center, the tailbone, the pelvic bowl, and upper body posture, and all of that. If you're doing something quick, you have to find it really fast. So it gives you that opportunity. All right, enough talking. We'll see what happens. But first, let's just center for a moment. Let's close our eyes, stand in neutral position, feet hip widths apart. Take a deep breath in and sigh it out. A couple of more times just to become grounded in this position. Belly, rib cage, and chest expanding as you breathe in. And it sinks in as you exhale, chest, rib cage, belly. Maybe become aware of your feet touching the ground and create some energetic root system, connecting with earth. Bring your palms together in front of your heart, and we'll open the practice with an Om, a deep breath in. And open your eyes. Good. All right, so let's come to basically, let's start with the warrior one stance, right leg forward, left back. And then we're gonna morph this into a way that we'll have a good posture for some kicks to get warmed up with. So hop in a little bit with that back foot, and then turn the heel inward. So you've split the difference with your weight here. It's going straight down. You've got 50-50 on your legs. But then pivot up so that you're trying to square your hips forward a bit. So you have, a deep knee stance and a little bit of turn forward. They might not be completely squared yet. Actually, a 3/4 squaredness is fine, and you can have your arms sort of like ready for a little something. But when you go up to a kick now, we're gonna square out the hips and pivot up more on that ball of the foot, and then launch sort of a snap kick, and then land back in that position where you have a 50-50. So it should feel equal to lift both legs, like it's equally light, both of them. So we're in that stance, and then square off, kick, land, kick, land, okay? So we'll do a little breath, so that becomes a pranayama basically. You can do a hara, ha, sound. We're doing yoga, and there would be a ki in karate. So I'm gonna do 10 more. And land. Good. Now let's morph this to a warrior one position. Square off and extend the back leg. And you might want to, just to enjoy that a little bit more, just stretch back. Then I inchworm the foot back a little bit. And come up to your warrior one and hold. A lot of sensation, maybe a little heart rate elevated. Breathe. Bring your arms down, and let's find that position again. Dragging your foot, maybe a foot or so, and sit back down. Just hold it here for some extra strength work. So this is the 50-50, but always ready to pivot and snap and land. Okay, we're gonna shift side. So, left leg forward. You should feel it already. Oh, hopefully. Maybe you don't, but good. So, you see that I have a good stance on the mats here. So, 50-50 position. Good. Try to square off a little bit, so it'll be like a 3/4. But when you square off completely, you have to pivot up on that back foot. Good. So that's an interesting, nice move right there. Good. And you repeat that as you land each time. We'll do a couple of small ones first, just a little warm up on this side. So landing, this snap, it's called a snap kick. So my form might not be the best. It was long ago since I actually took karate. So lessons, but I do incorporate it in my practice, fun. So when you kick up the leg, you wanna bring it close to your body and then just fold out the foot, the bottom of the leg, and let it snap back. So maybe the heel is actually aiming for your butt cheek again, right? So it's not a boom. Don't do that. Boom. Don't do that. It's a little catapult. Okay, so now let's do 10 or so of those. Exhale. And land. Good, hold it. Pivot up to your warrior one. Extend the back leg. So if you're practicing, you can inchworm back. If you practice that fast and try to find basically this kind of groundedness that you maybe are more used to finding here. If you can find that quality each time you come back from a kick, you'll be ready to launch another kick really fast. Good. So we're looking for a little bit of sensation here. Sorry, I was not pressing up that leg. So much of the hamstring you try to press up. Here's your warrior one. And then we'll morph it back to that ready stance for a snap kick. So you're gonna pull in that leg, shoof, until you can find 50-50. So it should be equally easy to lift both legs. Mind you, the back foot is not turning backwards. That would be the same thing. That's really not good to do in like a warrior two situation. You never turn that foot out more than your knee and hip can follow. So it's the same idea here. It can turn out a little bit, but if it's turned that way, it would be too much effort to like, oh, drag it back with you. So be ready for that. Boom, boom, and in fact, that becomes a really good workout too. Good, shake it out a little bit. So we're gonna do that. Whew. Take a deep breath in. and sigh it out. Great, so come to a squat or this position, not too low. Good. So there you have your goddess pose or your victory squat or whatever you want to call this. It's a lot of nice effort. Good. Now let's turn this foot in and kneel down a little bit, get a little bit of work here. Down. Just practice that. Pivot. Doesn't look like anything you might use in martial arts, I don't think so. This is just a bit of muscle work here. Down. Good. A few more. It's warm in here already. I'm getting very warm. The heat is on. It is November now. It's cold and frosty outside. So it's nice to be able to know how to make your own fire from the inside. Let's do one more. Great. Walk your legs together. Shake it out. So why don't we do a couple of side kicks, and I use that a lot in yoga for balance as well, just holding the leg out, or I might work from side to side like this, practicing a really smooth transition. So just for evenness, hold the leg out to the other side for a moment. Bum bum, use your obliques, medial glute, bring the leg down. So, all right, some kicks in that position. Lift up, and you obviously have to have your roots down into the earth. Don't clench your toes. I talk about this all the time. Let your toes be relaxed until you need them. Let them kick in as extra bonus tentacles when you need them. It's the ball of the foot and the heel for corner points there that gives you the best balance. And then when you need it, the toes will help out, okay? So try not to clench your toes, because you'll get up on a foot that looks like that, and that's very ungrounding. If you lift your toes, you can see the ball of the foot going down, and then you can relax your foot. So that's your initial pose. Just feel really grounded. That's why it's good to just lift the toes first a little bit and then relax them down. Find your balance, maybe a couple of rotations here. Good, and then lifting up. All right, let's kick. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So my foot, I'm doing that. You see there. Other side. So what I say in yoga, the Barbie foot. Lifting up, rotate a few times. Great. And lifting up, holding it here. Can be somewhat ready with your arms, if you were to throw a punch at the same time. We'll do, 16. Grounded foot. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I lost my balance. Good. Maybe you don't usually do 16 at the same time, but we can do side to side. It's a little easier. Good. Kick it out. Kick it out. Kick it out. Kick it out. Find your balance. So you're always, when you're reaching out your limbs far into space, wherever that is, if you're not connected to your center, it's going to be flaily and wobbly. So with these kicks, you saw me losing my balance a bit here. It was fast and maybe I lost connection to the center. So find that. Let's do a bunch side to side where your foot basically is connected to your belly button. Okay. bunch more. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come down. Good. Find balance in crane pose. Stand on your right leg and let your pulse slow down. So you can watch your breath. Stay connected to core. You can watch your pulse. Stay connected to core and ground it into earth. Let your pulse slow down a little bit more. Lower your leg down, bring up the other leg, and we'll bring the breath down here. So you're resting now, resting into your balance, becoming grounded, nice and chill. And bring your arms and leg down. Good. And stand wide-legged. Circle around a couple of times. And switch direction and spiral down a bit. Do an 8. Loosen up the hips. And switch direction. Good. And then tick-tock side to side. And then walk a little wider and wider. Good. Let's throw in a couple of deep stretches here. I think I'll end it with kicks for this round, and we'll do some stretches now. So sink down on your right leg, and you should be decently warm. So go for a deep stretch. Now, you can do this a number of ways. I'll throw out a couple of options. You can put your hand down, or maybe if you have a block, and you can do an open twist to this. Or you can stay with a lateral angle. Or if you can come down a little deeper and take your right hand and snake it underneath your thigh, and then try to open up your chest. You can lean into the inner edge of your left foot and turn your gaze up, or wherever you have good balance, and we'll release and help yourself up. I have to pivot the feet now, other direction. Good, go down a little deeper on this side, and we have again lateral angle, this one, or hand to the floor, or a block, or come down a little deeper and snake your left arm underneath your thigh, clasp your hands. This could be with a bandana or a little yoga tie too, that you take in your upper hand, drop down so you have something to reach. Good, gaze up, breathe. And don't do anything that hurts. Your body should enjoy it. Good. Slowly come up. Take a couple of steps together. Good. Why don't we go down for a nice deeper quad stretch on the floor. You might want your blocks, and you might want a blanket underneath that left knee. I have my right leg forward. Sink down. You could stay here. You could bring your arms up. If you want something deeper for the quad and the hips, the left side this time, on this side this time around, lift up and grab hold of the left ankle. So if you can't grab hold of it with your hand or a yoga tie, I don't recommend just hanging out here. It's just a crampy sensation, and it doesn't give you that effect of actually relaxing into the stretch. So if you can't reach hand to foot with any prop or with regular hand and foot, then don't lift the leg up. Just sink down. A little traction forward. If you glue that back knee into the ground and drag yourself forward, you'll get a nice sensation in the front of the hip, most likely. Breathe and just take it to where you like it to be. So the leg work we did in the beginning is a good workout for your quads. So it's important to stretch out the quad. It is very important, especially if you're tightening up in the knees, tightening up in the quads, and that can resonate in tight or sore knees. So do stretch the quad, please. And the hip flexor, the front of the hip. So we are on the other side, left leg forward, right back. Take a couple of breaths here. So here's what I mean with pretend that you can glue your right knee in the ground and then a little traction forward. So that might be enough of a wholesome stretch. Might feel great. Maybe your arms are up. Maybe your foot comes up. If you can get the foot, but it's really hard to get it that way, just lifting it up. Here's a little trick. Walk around, hinge your hips back, grab hold of the knee, and then walk back. Sort of take that in a couple of stages. Sinking down and letting the heel move closer to the glute, gradually, slowly. You should be able to smile and think happy thoughts, be in your body and not wanting to escape. You want to be in the moment when you do your practice. It should be a resting place for your mind and a way to tune in. Even if it is with effort, like we just did, like really fast, or a little more strength involved, a little more challenge, you should still be able to look for something that you enjoy. You should find something you enjoy, otherwise just back off a little bit. Resting and taking pauses is fine. All right, good. So a nice open hip there. We'll do a stretch for the hamstring as well. I think we'll use a trikonasana, or reverse trikonasana for that. So right leg forward, left leg back, and move those guys. So, all right. So this stands for a warrior two, basically, but extend both legs, and then pivot your upper body forward, square off your upper body, but you still have that angle a little bit outward on the back foot. That may vary a little bit as you go into a twist. And also, you'll notice if the stance is too long for a reverse trikonasana, you often want a little smaller stance than your regular. So I'm going to hop in a little bit just to give you that. Good. Now square off your upper body, arms out to the side, hinge forward, flat back. A nice stretch here for your hamstring. Make sure not to hyperextend in that knee, and breathe. And then take your left hand to the block. I think a block is good here. If it's really easy to reach the floor, go right ahead, maybe up on your fingertips. And then the right arm is out to the side first. I'm not going to lift it up until my body pivots, my upper body pivots around. So thumb is pointing in top of the head direction, back of the hand is facing my back side. Good. So don't do something like that. That rings the shoulder around. One more breath here. And slowly come back. And why don't we do just intense stretch here also. You are allowed to round your back now. Bow into that leg. and slowly come up. Engage the quad, bend the front knee if you need to come up. We're gonna switch leg. You can pivot around or step forward and back if you want. I'm just gonna turn around here. Good, so you have your warrior two stance with the foot, but extend your both legs. Good, and then we'll square off to the front with the upper body, hands on your hips maybe, or out to the side, flat back. Breathe your way down, inhale up, and exhale, flow into it. Good, so nice hamstring stretch here. Don't hyperextend in that knee. You can bend it a tiny bit if you want, but then don't go in and out of that bend. Keep it an angle that you've decided upon. Now we're gonna come up a little bit, pivot, pivot, pivot. Grab hold of the block, and you're rotating, and the arm follows. The arm is not leading around. It's coming from your center, your center and out. Build your postures from the floor and up, and center and out. And slowly come back, and we'll do an intense stretch here. Rounded back is just dandy. Good, and slowly come up. Bend that leg a little bit, or push into the blocks, and step forward. Nice, good. So this is mainly then, we've done a bunch of leg stuff for strength, speed, stamina, balance, body awareness, and then some nice stretches, front and back of the legs. So let's see what would feel good to do. Oh, maybe a figure four after this. So, or something similar. So come down to a seated position. We'll get a nice fold of the leg. So bend the left leg and just hang forward in the center. We're mellowing down now. Hanging over. Let your breath slow down. Relax. And slowly come up. We'll take this to a pigeon. The same leg will remain bent here. You can put your hands on either side of that left leg, hinge up a little bit or tilt forward, and swipe that leg back for a bit of a pigeon pose, squaring off your hips. Shoulders down. And if you have any variation here that you'd love to do, go right ahead. But just focusing on pressing down the right hip. Maybe you want to curl the back toes under, lift the knee up, and sink down with your hips a little bit more. The main thing is that you're taking good care of this left knee here. Hinge back to your left side sits bones, swipe that leg forward, and left leg out, right leg bend, hang forward. You can even start with a flat back if you want to get that work in there. Flat back, and then round. Coming up, we're gonna take that left leg around and starting low for the pigeon and then coming up. Chest forward, good, shoulders down. Enjoy the warmth in your body. Enjoy the openness in your legs, maybe now, hips, and it's all warmed up. And then slowly tilt back. Come to your easy cross-legged position, and we will just center up. Maybe it's an easy cross-leg, maybe it's in half lotus. If you have an easy time with a full lotus, go ahead. Let's find our breath. Breathing in, belly, rib cage, and chest expanding. When you exhale, it sinks in, chest, rib cage, belly. With each in-breath, invite that breath all the way up underneath your collarbones. Set a good intention for having a full breath today or tonight, all day. As often as possible, allow the breath to be full when it needs to be. I can add the Ujjayi breath now, the ocean sounding breath. And then take a moment to set a positive intention to take with you off the mat. Positive intention, a prayer, a wish, a dedication, forgivenesses in all directions, to self, to others, or giving forgiveness, or whatever it is that you need to do in that area. And also gratitudes, what you're grateful for. All of these things can set some nice intentions for as we chant, as usual, 3 Oms and 3 Shantis for peace. Deep breath in. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Letting go, trusting in the universe for guidance and help. Bring the palms together in front of our heart and gently bow, honoring ourselves as human and divine at the same time, and honoring all living, all past, and in the whole of our creation. May our hearts know peace, and may our whole planet know peace. Shanti, Shanti, and Shanti. And when you're ready, open up into having a great day or evening if this was an evening practice. Most likely it's a little earlier in the day. Peace and Jai Bhagwan. I honor the divine light in you. Hope that you enjoyed a little bit of kicking around, and maybe I'll add some more different moves soon. But this is a little bit of a more vigorous. If you liked it, put a thumbs up on it, and feel free to join me in some Zoom classes also if you like. Peace and Jai Bhagwan. Have a great day.